Okay, good morning. My name is Phil Tarbox, the National Sales Manager for Business Solutions here at D-Link. It's great to have you with us this morning for this webinar talking about the D-Link Cloud Managed Networking product, Nuclias, a really significant product for us to be launching into Australia. It's great to have your company with us this morning. Also joining me is Ilya, our Commercial Product Manager at D-Link, and Ilya will be taking us through a live demonstration of the Nuclias product a little bit later on in the presentation as well. Today's presentation, we should be going for roughly 40 to 45 minutes, so not too long, but just enough hopefully to whet your appetite on the product and help you understand as to how the product is working. So just a couple of quick things via housekeeping. You'll see inside of the Zoom video conferencing program that we're using that you're able to ask questions throughout. So please do that in the Q&A box. We'll either answer the question live during the webinar, or we will answer that via the question box in the webinar as well. This webinar is being recorded also, so you can come back and watch that again or share that with other people in your team that haven't been able to join us today for the presentation. So let's get started and let's get into to have a look at the brand new Nuclias Cloud Networking product by D-Link. So at D-Link, and certainly for many of you that have been dealing with us for a long time, and you would have heard us talking about cloud managed networking product for a period of time. We're very excited to be bringing that product into Australia now, and we think certainly the time is right, and our product is at the right level of maturity for us to be launching the product out into the market as well. So what is Nuclias? If you've responded to an email that's gone out from us, or if you've looked at if you've been talking to an account manager from D-Link or to one of our distributors and have joined in today, here is quickly as what the product is all about. An end-to-end cloud managed networking solution optimized to make network administration tasks as simple and painless as possible. Certainly that's what we've set out to do. And we've certainly set out and spoken to as many of our partners as possible to get an understanding as to what you are looking for and how you're looking at supporting your customers out in Australia and New Zealand, and making your life as simple and painless as possible. So what we have done is gone out and got a whole lot of feedback from the market. This is certainly one of the benefits of being a little bit late to the market, is that you can go and learn from mistakes which other people have made, to go and have a product that is really meeting the needs of the customers that you're seeking to work with. A few things that people have told us that they've disliked about other networking vendors' products today. No multi-tenancy, absolutely a big one. But the target market for us here at D-Link with this product is out to resellers, to managed service providers, to system integrators that are looking at being able to support many of your customers. Multi-tenancy allows, from a single pane of glass, you to be able to see all of your customers at the same time on a single pane of glass, and to be able to manage those. So that was something that we heard from you that was really important. The other thing that people didn't like was paying upfront for licenses for product. 1, 3, 5 and 10-year licenses, if you can believe that some vendors would supply a 10-year license on a piece of networking kit. That having to pay for that up front was certainly a real challenge as well. It didn't fit in with a lot of the models, particularly managed service providers or MSPs. It didn't fit in with the model in the way in which you were billing your customers for other services, like managed services, for Office 365 subscriptions, telephony subscriptions and the like. So that was certainly a bit of a challenge as well. When a license expires on a product, that the product becomes bricked, that it no longer works, that's certainly been a bit of a challenge, as well, and certainly something that end customers and MSPs really didn't like either. And certainly the high cost of licensing was a bit of a challenge as well. One thing that's certainly been a bit of a bugbear is co-terming, and that can be pretty difficult for your customer when you go to them in June and say, here's your license, it needs to be renewed for these 10 access points which you have, but then you need to come back to them 3 months later for another 2 access points that they might have added 12 months earlier, and then you need to go and add to ask some more money for licensing for product. So the co-terming aspect and the difficulty of that is certainly a bit of a challenge that we've seen to address as well. Limited stock or no stock sitting in distribution, making it difficult for you, for MSPs, for resellers, for partners to be able to go and supply product in the ad hoc nature in which some of your customers like to order. That's certainly a bit of a challenge. And the product actually being tied to an end user and having to inform the vendor of the end user. And if that end user no longer wants that product and you want to resell that to somebody else, that can create all sorts of problems also. And a lack of local support has certainly been a challenge as well. So thank you everybody that we've gone and sought feedback from, and we've certainly listened to that, and we believe that we've been able to put together a product solution for our partners in Australia and New Zealand that actually answers all of those questions and addresses all of those problems and makes a product that's going to be easy for you to sell and easy for your customers to purchase as well. So as I said, with Nuclias, that it's something that we've made specifically and intentionally designed for managed service providers. So multi-tenancy, as I said earlier, is something that is standard. In fact, our target customer for this product is you as an MSP. There has to be an MSP that is tied to an end user. An end user cannot go and create their own account within Nuclias. That is all done by their MSP. We've also gone and created a monthly billing platform as well, and tried to keep things fairly simple with a really straightforward cost and a really straightforward way of billing that at just $7.50 per month per device, all billed in arrears. So you only pay for what you use. You don't use that device, that access point, or that switch is not turned on during a calendar month. There's no payment for that. As a result, there's no license expiration as well. As long as you continue to pay for that, that device will be licensed and it will continue to function. Really, really simple. Of course, being that everything is billed monthly or based on usage, it means that there's no co-terming that needs to happen. Well, in fact there is, but it all happens automatically. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to request something to be co-termed. The device is no longer being used. It drops off your bill. If a client adds on more access points or more switches or other devices, that just appears on the bill the next month. And of course, you're fully aware of those things appearing on there as well. So that's something that's we're really proud of and have had really great feedback on in the 3 months that we've been selling Nuclias so far in Australia and New Zealand. Of course, local stock in distribution. And you'll find across all of our key distributors across Australia that they've got stock of both switches and access points available for you to pick up anytime and anywhere that you need that. Something else that MSPs and authorised resellers of Nuclias, you've got the ability to go and create and delete your own customers as required. You are in total control. You do not need to advise us. We do not need to create an account for your customer. That's something that is managed completely by yourself, and it's very, very simple to be able to do that. Of course, there's unlimited scalability of supported APs and switches in our product. again, that's something that's really, really important. There's no limits on that, and certainly there are limits on some of the competitors' products that are out there today. And last but not least is we've got local level 2 and level 3 support available in our Sydney support office. We've got a really skilled team here that are ready and able to support our customers and our partners and to be able to go and offer really fantastic assistance. We get excellent feedback really consistently about our local support team. So for those of you that haven't heard of Nuclias and haven't dealt with D-Link in the past, this is not a brand new platform. In fact, since 2015, this product has been in use really extensively across Japan with a very large telco in Japan, NTT. In fact, they've got over 100,000 D-Link Nuclias access points deployed in all manner of customers, going out into chain stores, restaurants, cafes, into hospitality and into retail and malls. There's a couple of different vendors' product that they offer out to their customers. D-Link today has around about 80% market share within that NTT space of a managed Wi-Fi solution that they're offering, and that business continues to grow for us every month as well. So from that platform, we've developed the Nuclias product range. I mentioned support before, local support based in our Sydney support office. Please, this telephone number for any of you that are partners or are not yet partners, 1300 558 053, should be on speed dial in your phone and up in your own support team's area. So when there is a problem with the D-Link product or you've got a question, you can call that number and you can speak directly to a level 2 or level 3 support engineer in our Sydney support office. And of course, there's all the standard support that you would expect on the D-Link for Business range of networking product. A limited lifetime warranty applies to the Nuclias product. So effectively, you get 5 years of warranty after the end of sale or end of life of a particular product. Of course, we're at the beginning of life of the D-Link Nuclias range of product. The expected life of any of our switches and APs is around about 4 to 5 years. So it's a very long warranty that's available to you. Of course, there's lifetime support. So that includes access to that phone number, access to firmware upgrades, software updates, and so on are all included for the lifetime of the product as well. And as standard, next business day advanced replacement comes on all D-Link for Business and Nuclias networking products. There's stock that's held in our Sydney support office, and we do our very best to get that dispatched same day out to Australia and New Zealand, and of course time permitting and I guess couriers permitting in terms of getting that out, but we're able to get into most regional and capital cities out next business day. So what products are in the Nuclias range of product? Well, today we're really pleased with the take-up so far of our wireless access points and the switches which are in our range today. But we've also got a really solid roadmap of product that's coming through as well. 2020 is going to be a very exciting year for Nuclias, with an outdoor access point due in mid Q1 next year. That's going to be great for point-to-point and point-to-multi-point bridging, as lots of our customers like to do, or just to give Wi-Fi to outdoor areas. We'll also have a tri-band Wave 2 access point in Q1 as well. 2 5 gigahertz radios and 1 2.4 gigahertz radio. That's all about giving additional bandwidth and additional performance to business, to education customers, where there's many devices that need to be supported off a single access point. Also coming into the range in Q2 next year will be IP surveillance cameras with an NVR. The NVR which will be hosted on site at the customer site, but being able to be managed and monitored via the Nuclias platform. And we'll also have a multi-WAN router that's going to be there in Q2 as well. And I know that that's a product that many of our partners today are very keen to see. So we're certainly keen and excited to see that product hit the range as well. Last but not least, in late Q3 next year, we'll have a range of layer 2 plus stackable switches with 10 gig options with them as well. So that will certainly be a great addition to the range of switches and access points that we have available today. So please stay tuned and please speak to your account manager about what's as to where we're up to with the availability of those products coming out into Australia and New Zealand. Quick picture of the range of switches and access points that we have in our range today. You can see we've got 6 switches, the mixture of non-PoE switches, the DBS 2000 28 and 52. 24 and 48 ports with 4 1 gig SFP fiber ports, and we've then got 4 PoE switches in our range. The 8-port DBS 2000 10MP with a very high power budget of 130 watts. What I expect to be the most popular switch, the DBS 2000 28P, 24 PoE plus ports with a PoE budget of 193 watts. And then our max power range of switches with a PoE budget of 370 watts with 24 ports and with 48 ports. All of those with 1 gig SFP fiber ports as well. Today we've got 2 access points that are shipping today, the DBA 1210 2x2 wave 2 access point and the DBA 1510, a 3x3 wave 1 access point, and early next year we'll have our wave 2 outdoor access point, the DBA 3620. So please keep an eye out for that one next year when that starts shipping. I'd now like to hand over to Ilya, our commercial product manager, that will take us through a demonstration of the Nuclias platform. Ilya, over to you.
Thank you, Phil. So as Phil has mentioned, Nuclias Cloud has been made with MSPs in mind. And I'm happy to repeat that because it is truly done really well. And you can see once you log into Nuclias portal, you see the list of your customers. So in this example, we have 3 customers with multiple devices deployed and with multiple sites. So customers can have multiple sites if necessary. So these are examples of just one site being online. And straight away, you can see at a glance what's happening with the devices, how many of them are online, how many of them are offline. So obviously green means that they're online. And if they're offline, you will see them straight away here. So dormant, that means that the device has been assigned to a customer, but it hasn't been connected to the network yet. And if you see any devices are offline, you can quickly click on it and you can see where this device is located, which customer it is assigned to, and how long it's been offline. Now, if you need to see more details about a specific customer, you can simply click on that, and that will drill down to this customer network, how the network is performing, and what devices are doing. So straight away, again, you will see how many devices are offline or online, what type of devices are they, switches, access points, and you will see how the network is performing and how many clients are connected, for example. So I'll scroll through this dashboard very quickly. So you will see it shows you how many clients are connected to the Wi-Fi network, how much PoE power being consumed by devices connected to the switches. You will see top performing devices in terms of traffic, the top SSIDs or the most busiest wireless networks there, the top 10 clients, and a top CPU utilization and power consumption on the switches. You can click on the client to see more details. So you will see all the clients that are being connected in the last 24 hours, or you can choose a different time frame here, for example, and that will tell you what clients are currently connected, which particular access point they're connected, and how much traffic are they using, so how much traffic went through to that particular client, and also even what type of device is connected there. Now, let's go back to the dashboard. The dashboard itself is customizable. You can choose what information you want to see. As you can see, quite a lot of options in here. And by default, it shows you 24-hour performance information. You can, of course, change that, and you can look at last 7 days or last 2 weeks, for example. So that's what has been happening on this network in the last 2 weeks. By default, it shows you an overview, so it shows you information about switches and access points. You can limit it just for access points only, for example. So you'll see the how much traffic has been going through the access points. You can choose a particular access point if you want to, or a particular site. So at the moment we selected all sites for this customer, but you can narrow it down to a specific site as well. So there is a switch view as well. Give me 1 second. So here it is. So that shows you, again, traffic through the switch, gives you a PoE power being delivered to PoE powered devices, and some port information on the switches, which ports are the busiest ports. It also gives you an option to have a map view, and if you, when setting up the customer sites, you specified where these sites are located, they will be shown on the map, and you will see these dots here, and you can quickly click on that on the map, and that will show you what exactly is active on that site, which devices are being deployed, if they're online or offline. So very easy, very user-friendly interface, quite easy to follow. Now, if you want to see a bit more details about the customer network and the customer devices, you can always go into the monitor section. So let's have a look at what's happening with access points, and that will tell you information about each and every access point on the customer network. It will show you the connectivity status. So if the access point has been offline for whatever reason, you will see red stripes here, and you can, I'd say, try to troubleshoot and see what exactly was happening with that particular device. And you can even drill down into the access point itself and have a look what the settings are. You can see what IP settings are, what the serial number and MAC address of the access point, how it is set up, and you can check the firmware status. Right. So let's have a look at the firmware. So the firmware is updated automatically through the Nuclias Cloud. As soon as the new firmware comes out, Nuclias Cloud pushes it to the access point, but it follows your rules. So it follows by default an upgrade window, which you can set up. So at the moment it's set to Sunday 1 a.m., but of course you can change that to what you want or what the customer prefers. So to update the firmware, you can schedule a specific time. If the customer needs to wants the firmware to be upgraded at a certain time, you can change that, of course, or you can even do the upgrade right away. So you can choose the upgrade now option. Right. So let's have a look at the switch options. So again, you will see if the switch is online, how long it's been online, or if it was offline, you will see the information here, how much power it is offering in total, and how much power is being used by devices. Now, if you look at the switch settings itself, so I wanted to show you because there's quite a lot of information in here, and it may be very useful for you to look at customer devices and also troubleshoot them remotely. So at a summary, it will show you the switch, what it is doing, which ports are performing as PoE ports, what's the connectivity status of the switch in this time period. Again, you can choose whichever time period you want. CPU utilization, if the switch has been busy or not during this time. You can have a look at each and every port individually, what speed it is connected to, what is current transfer speeds, and how much traffic went through the switch in total. And you can also check how much PoE power that switch has been delivering to the powered devices and how much these devices are consuming. Now, there's some quite useful tools in here which can help a lot with remote troubleshooting. So the simple tool as ping, for example, you can specify whichever URL you want, and the switch from this side will try to ping that site, and you will see what the delays are and if the site is responding. A very useful feature which a lot of customers are actually asking for is performing a cable test. If you're having troubles with a specific device, if it's not connecting to the switch properly or dropping off, you can actually check if the cable's been made properly. You can run a test, and the switch will check the pairs. Even if the device on the other end is not connected, you can see there's a link down at the moment, but the test result is okay. So the cable has passed the test, and it can estimate how long this particular cable is. So that helps a lot with troubleshooting if the customer is having any issues. So there's some other useful features such as blink LEDs. If the customer's got multiple devices on site, you can actually identify that device by enabling blinking LEDs, and the device will start flashing. There's an option to reboot the device remotely as well. And another useful feature is to cycle the port. So if you have a PoE device which is not responding, say a camera or an access point or something like that, and it's not working properly, you can just cycle the PoE power on that port. That means that the device will reboot and hopefully will come back online. You can also see the MAC forwarding table. That also helps a lot with troubleshooting, because if you want to find a specific device on your network and which port it is connected to the switch, you can get all this information remotely through the portal. So as you can see, quite a lot of tools in here for the switches. You can also monitor your clients, and you can see the which clients are connected, as I showed earlier. And another useful feature is you can also monitor the event log, which will tell you what clients have been connecting, disconnecting, and what particular MAC addresses and what particular devices has been online. If you're using a captive portal, you will also see the credential of the customers here, which will allow you to see who is connecting, etc. So I'll get to the captive portal in a moment. I'll show how it is configured and what options do you have there. Another useful feature is floor plans. Again, it helps to troubleshoot the customer's networks, and also helps the customer to see which devices are deployed around his area and around the building, and how they call. So as you can see, you can upload multiple floor plans. A site can have multiple floors and multiple buildings, and you can upload them all and allocate your devices there. So it is quite easy for the customer to see. I'm not sure if Phil mentioned there is an app available for Nuclias Cloud service. Customers are happy to load that onto their phones or tablets, and they can monitor their network locally and remotely as well. And that map actually shows helps quite a lot in terms of finding out which devices are online, if which devices are offline, and whereabouts they are located. Right. So everything here is designed again with MSPs in mind, and one of the features that Phil's mentioned, and one of the advantages of a Nuclias Cloud solution, is a zero-touch deployment. That means that you can configure your devices without even touching them, without even opening the box. You can set up configuration profiles for your customers, and all is needed to do is to send the devices to the customer site, open them up, connect to the network, and as soon as the devices are online, they will automatically download the configuration that you've set up for this customer. So let me show you how configuration of a profile looks like. So we can have a look at some configurations which are here, or we can create a new profile. So let's just call it test 1, for example. And you have an option here to use a default configuration or use an existing profile that you've created earlier. So that helps quite a lot if you deploying configuration or deploying access points which have similar configuration, so you know how your customers would normally configure your devices, and you can just clone it from the existing profile. So let's just use the default configuration. So they'll create it straight away with the default SSIDs. Of course, you can rename them or add your own SSIDs, and you have all these options to configure your wireless network. So of course, you can set up whichever security you want to have, WPA2, WPA3, etc. You can also, for guest networks in particular, you can create a captive portal. Captive portal means that customers, whenever they try to connect to that particular network, they'll be prompted to enter username and password, or use some third-party credentials, like, for example, their Facebook login or Google login, or you can make them to specify an email address, and the system will send them login details through the email. So the splash page itself is customizable. So as you can see here, there are several predefined options. You can create your own, obviously your own login page, and it is all editable. You can have your own images, you can upload your own images, you can have these options for third-party credentials to log into the network, and it even gives you an access to the source code if you're familiar with HTML, so you can modify that as well the way you prefer it to be. So very easy, as you can see, to configure, very user-friendly. If you look at other options, so apart from Captive Portal, you have your access control where you can enable different types of filtering, IP filtering. There's also a useful feature which is called scheduled availability. So for some businesses, they only want their Wi-Fi to operate during business hours, for example, so they can limit their guest network to specific times only, which is quite handy. And you can even, under advanced settings, limit the bandwidth that the customers can get through the Wi-Fi network. You can set up a total bandwidth limitations or bandwidth limitations specifically for each of the customers. Now, when setting up your Wi-Fi, you also have an option there to select which particular Wi-Fi channels you want to use. And by default, the system will automatically choose whichever channel has got less interference, so it will scan the network around them and will find out which particular channel is the best to use in this area. And you can set up these scans to happen automatically, so by default it is every 6 hours, but you can change that to any way you like. So all that is very simple. As you can see, very user-friendly interface. Now let's have a look at the say switch profiles. So it will have you, it will give you some more options in here in terms of how you configure your ports. So you can, for example, select multiple ports. You can aggregate them. So create an LACP link aggregation group, or you can assign them to a VLAN. So you can add tags to these ports and either use existing VLAN or create a new VLAN. So again, it's very simple, couple of clicks and the configuration is done. So the switches also offer port schedules, so you can enable disable ports on the schedule. Quite easy to set up, and again, similar to Wi-Fi network, follows the same concept. Any changes that you do on your network, on your configuration, they're actually being recorded. So if you have multiple administrators who are modifying the settings, you can actually track down and see under reports and change logs, so you can see which particular user, which particular person had changed and what has been changed in the configuration. So that's our activity here. So this is in a nutshell what you can do with switch configuration and access point configuration. I didn't cover each and every aspect. As you can see, there's quite a lot what you can do. You can create your own authentication list. You can use your own servers or radio servers to authenticate users, etc., etc. Now, another thing I wanted to show you is the reports. So when you want to show the customer how the network is performing, or you want to troubleshoot again the network and see what exactly is happening, how busy the network is, how much traffic is going through. So the portal has got this fantastic option to generate reports for you. So this report is for wireless access points. You can see there's quite a lot of details in here, how much traffic has been going through, what are the top devices which have been used, top SSIDs, top clients, etc., etc. The report obviously can be changed to a specific time frame, so last 24 hours, 7 days, last month, etc., etc. And you also have access to the archives, which you can download if you need to refer to previous months. So the download option allows you to download these reports in an Excel format, and then you can make some fancy tables and pie charts, etc. If you're into this kind of thing, or if your customer likes these type of reports. Now with switches, there is also quite a lot of options in here. As you can see, it shows you all sorts of information, what has been happening with the ports on the switches. broadcast traffic, and so on. It is also, again, customizable. As you can see, there's a lot of options available here, what you want to include into your report and that what you don't want to see. So quite easy to do. Another thing that I wanted to show you, and that Phil already mentioned, is so organization management is obviously where you add your customers and add sites to your customers. So you can have as many sites as you wish. So all the customers will be listed here. But in regards to multi-tenancy, so you can have obviously multiple customers, and you can invite users or create login details for other people. So if it is your colleague from your organization, from your MSP, so you can give them different rights and give them admin rights so they can modify the settings. Or if it is your customer that you want to access the portal, you can give them say only rights to. You can give them permission to modify the settings, for example, or if you want them just to monitor and have access to reports if they want to have a look what's happening with their network, or you can give them access as a viewer only. That means that they can only see what's happening with their network in real time, but will not have access to reports. And you can limit these users to specific sites only, or you can allow them to see all sites, but for that particular customer only. So that's the multi-tenancy. So it works really well, and as Phil said, a lot of our customers requested this type of feature, and happy to say that it's been implemented in the Nuclias. So this is again a brief description of what you can do and what you can see in the Nuclias portal. As you've seen, quite a lot of options there to configure. You can go quite deep into it, or you can simply just use the templates which are already created, and it takes literally seconds to set up devices. And once again, with zero-touch deployment, all you need to do is set up a profile. When you're adding devices to your customer sites, you just tell the system which particular profile to use. And once the devices are on customer site and plugged into the network, they automatically download the configuration and they are ready to use straight away. So Phil has got some other things to say, but last thing probably I wanted to mention is that if you have any feedback in regards to what you would like to see on the portal, please feel free to share. Our developers are always ready to introduce new features. They're actually continuously working on improving and adding more to the Nuclias portal, and happy to say that they listened to some of our feedback which we got from our customers, and that has been already implemented, and I know that a lot more is there to come. So please do share your feedback on what you would like to see on Nuclias portal, and we'll certainly take this into consideration. So over to you, Phil. Probably the last things that you want to see, that which are very, very important.
Great, thanks very much, Ilya. A great overview of the Nuclias platform, and behind the scenes, Ilya's done a lot of work in terms of taking the feedback from our partners and worked with our team in HQ in Taiwan in seeing a lot of those being explained and implemented and so on. So, Ilya, you're a really fantastic asset to the business here. Thanks for that. Thanks for that overview just now. Okay, so what happens next? Hopefully we've whet your appetite with the Nuclias product, but what's the call to action? What do we have available? How can we help you? So certainly, probably one of the first things to do, if you are interested, is actually getting your hand on some of this product to evaluate either within your own office or to put it out on evaluation with some of your customers today. I'll put over here up on the display here details of our channel managers and our pre-sales engineers. So we've got a great team available to you. I'm sure a number of you are engaged with Bernie, with Michael, or with Colin. So please take a note to jot down those details if you don't have them already, or our pre-sales engineers, David Urbano and Aaron Bilton. Both David and Aaron run our DCNP training courses. So if you've attended one of those courses, you would know both of those gentlemen. We've got a great team that are here to serve you and are here to ensure that that you're completely happy. So if you'd like to evaluate an access point or a switch or both, please get in touch with your account manager or a pre-sales engineer and we'll make that happen for you. As I mentioned at the start, it is something that to be able to sell Nuclias that you do need to be certified. So we do have a certification course available. It runs for about 25 minutes of video, of which Ilya talking in a little bit more detail about how to administer Nuclias. It's not a technical training course, it's largely an administration course. Make sure that you're able to administer that and to be able to set up your customers correctly, create profiles and so on. So that training, you can go and get registered online at training.dlink.com.au. There is a coupon code to enter, DLink Cert 2019, and you can get that course at no charge. There is an exam at the end of that, a 15-question exam, and there is a pass mark of 80% to be able to get certified. You're not able to purchase a Nuclias product unless you've actually achieved this certification. So please go and invest about 30 minutes of your time, a video and an exam to go and get certified. We've got lots of partners that are certified on that today and that have got many, many people in their organization certified as well. So please go and take a look at that. You also need to be a D-Link rewards partner, a D-Link for Business rewards partner. So if you are not yet signed up to that program, please go and do so. There's no cost to join that program. dlink.com.au/rewards is the website to do that. What you will get is upfront discounts on our range of business product. So anywhere from 12 to 20% discounts, depending on the type of product that you're purchasing. There's D-Link rewards or D-Link dollars that you can earn, which can be redeemed for e-gift cards. Of course, you get access to our priority technical support team. You can purchase demonstration product for your office, evaluation product, and there's bonus offers that we have from time to time. So if you're not yet signed up as a partner, please go and do that. Once you've actually completed your certification and you're signed up as a partner and you're ready to start selling Nuclias, you then need to nominate a distributor for monthly billing. So all of our product is available from each of our distributors that you can purchase product from. However, rather than getting a bill each month from multiple distributors, you need to nominate a single distributor. So today, distributors that are set up for that are Blue Chip Infotech, Ingram Micro, Multimedia Technology, and Synex. So please speak with, again, your D-Link account manager or your account manager at any of those distributors regarding Nuclias and getting certified. For more information on the Nuclias product range, you can visit our website, dlink.com.au/Nuclias, or you can email us, either email your account manager directly, or you can email nuclias@dlink.com.au. So there's quite a bit of information to take in there today. Certainly we thank you for joining us today. We thank our partners for your feedback that has helped us to be able to deliver a product that we believe that you're looking for. We think there's some great unique options that Nuclias offers in terms of monthly billing in arrears, just are paying for what you use, the multi-tenancy dashboard that's available, and of course the access to the fantastic support team that the D-Link for Business team has to help us and to help you to be able to delight your customers as well. Thanks very much for joining us. I know there's a few questions that have been coming up in the Q&A screen. Ilya, was there anything that we needed to answer live on here at the moment? Okay. If there's no other questions that are coming through, we might just wait a couple of minutes for those to come through. But if there's nothing else to add, we'll finish that off. So get your questions in if you have anything. Otherwise, please make contact with your D-Link account management team, and we'll arrange to get some evaluation kit out to you and to get you skilled up in terms of managing Nuclias. Please go and register for training at training www.dlink.com.au, and the coupon code to use to get that training course at no charge is in all capitals DLINK CERT 2019. Okay, no further questions that are coming in. It's Phil Tarbox signing off here, and also Ilya, our commercial PM, signing off as well.